Hiya, I'm Louise, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Quest for a Kelpie by Frances Mary Hendry. And this wee bampa over my shoulder is Bailey, and I'm sure you're going to be hearing him through the video because he's not exactly a quiet dog. So anyway, this is my second review that I'm doing. The first one was for a Stephen King book, which you can check out because it'll be somewhere on the thing. Also, if this is the first one that you're watching, though, I'm aware of the quality. I'm not an expert. I'm working on it. I'm learning to edit and all that kind of thing, so the quality will improve as we go. I've decided to start doing these reviews. I went into the reasons in the other video why. I'm not going to waste time in this one. So, as I said, today it's Quest for a Kelpie by Frances Mary Hendry. Now, I read this book back when I was at school. It was part of the English course. So it was a long time ago. Long time ago. For some reason, it stuck in my head. I couldn't remember much of the plot, but the name it stuck in my head. I don't know why. So anyway, before I go into the story, if you don't know what Kelpie is, you can maybe guess by the picture. But I'm only going to give you a wee brief description. If you want to know more, Google it. It's either a horse or a bull. Black, usually. Black horse, black bull. It's mostly Scottish mythology, but I think it might be in Irish mythology as well. But basically, the very short version is, if you see a Kelpie and you ride it, if you successfully ride it and control the horse or bull, you get to make a wish. And if you don't successfully manage to control it, you get dragged into the water, whatever lake, sea, whatever's next to you, you'll get dragged in and drowned. Plain and simple. There is a lot more to it than that, but as I said, you can Google it and find out. Because I don't want to waste loads and loads of time getting into all the mythology and everything. So basically, this book is written. There's a woman called Jeannie Main, and it's her birthday party, and all the family are there, and there's been a new wee great granddaughter born, I can't remember, but anyway, she decides to write this story of what happened to her when she was about 10-year-old. I'm probably going to get the ages wrong, but about 10-year-old, and she's leaving it for the new baby, because she doesn't really like any of her family, but that's a whole other thing. But anyway, so it's set in 1745, around about the time Bonnie Prince Charlie, I need to put my teeth in because I can't talk. Bonnie Prince Charlie, Battle of Culloden, all that kind of thing. So Jeannie is about 10 at the time, I'm sure, unless I'm misremembering. Her family live in Nairn. She's got a load of brothers and sisters. Her dad's a fisherman, her mum, and Jeannie and some of the other kids, they gut the fish, sell the fish, all that kind of thing. So it's a very much a family thing. It's a whole community, and they all do the same thing. The men go to catch fish, the women deal with cleaning it, selling it, and all that. And it's quite close in that community. And they've also got the dad's mum, the old granny. She lives with them as well. So, obviously I'm just giving you the highlights. I'm not going to go into everything to do with all the family details and blah blah blah. You can read that yourself. But basically, how it starts is Jeannie's going to take her daddy's lunch. He is in charge of the boat, and he's got some men that work for him, and they're fixing up the boat, getting ready to go out when the weather's better. So she's taking down his lunch to him, and there's a man who works on the boat who hates her father for reasons, right? Mostly because he's an a-hole, and that is probably the most polite way I can think of describing him, which says a lot. So his name is Dougie. Now I know Scottish, probably most likely Dougie, but it's spelled D-U-G-G-I-E, so that's why I'm saying Dougie. Maybe it's a West Coast, East Coast thing, because Nairn is East Coast, whereas I'm from West Coast, so West Coast it tends to be Dougie. We would tend to say Dougie. When it's West Coast, maybe it's more a Dougie thing. But anyway, regardless, the guy's name's Dougie, and he is an a-hole. And he's there being a-holy, and there's a group of gypsies that are staying nearby, and there's a gypsy girl who's not much older than Jeannie, comes over and asks if she can buy some tar, I think, or whatever it was that we're fixing the boat with. And Dougie, being Dougie, says, "Aye, I'll give it for free if you give me a kiss." To which, obviously, the gypsy girl was like, "Hey, no, I'll pay for it." Dougie doesn't take this well. Dougie then grabs her. Scuffle happens. She falls, knocks over the big tub of tar or whatever it was they were using. So everybody's like, "Oh, fucking, she's..." I think I might have swore there by accident. She's she's ruined the day's work, blah blah blah. And then all the people for the village and that, they're all attacking this gypsy girl physically and verbally. And Jeannie, who saw what Dougie did, is like, "Oh, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, what, go keys here, hold on." He was being a DICK. He propositioned her. She said no. He was the one that caused this to happen. He fills them in. Dougie doesn't take this very well. And he's like, "Oh, this is just an evil gypsy, blah, blah, blah," because that was the prejudice at the time. I know there's still prejudice towards gypsies today, but not to the same extent as back then. It was like they were evil thieves and that kind of thing, which is a theme that goes through the book. I'm not going to touch on too much. You can read it for yourself. But anyway, Dougie starts kind of insulting Jeannie. Jeannie's dad doesn't like this. Jeannie's dad gets in a fight with Dougie. Now, Dougie's a very big man, but that doesn't stop Jeannie's dad for giving him a right good hiding, basically. But he's got lots of injuries, which, being a man, he's trying to cover it up. And, "I'm the big man, I'm not going to show Dougie that he's hurt me," kind of thing. So he gets helped him and basically collapses when he gets in the house, because he's in the house and he can, say, "Oh my God," once he's in, because Dougie's not there. He doesn't need to put on the big, "I'm a big man," face kind of thing. So, the mother, the granny, and all that, they're all attending to the father. And a woman comes to the door called Margaret, who is the wee gypsy girl's mum. I can't remember the wee gypsy girl's name offhand, so sorry about that. I'm going to be referring her to the wee gypsy girl. So anyway, she comes to the door along with the wee gypsy girl and her brother, and basically Margaret's thanking them for sticking up for her daughter, because that, normally people don't stick up for them, and that situation could have got really, really bad for the wee gypsy girl. So as a thank you, she comes in, she's got this ointment stuff, and she comes in and she helps rub it into the feather and make him feel better, because he get broken ribs and black eyes, right. So she helps him out, and she tells Jeannie a prediction, basically, because they say gypsies, fortune tellers, that kind of thing. Whether you believe that or not is up to you, but basically Margaret makes this prediction. There's a few things here and there in it as well that I'm not going to tell you, but the main thing is that she's going to ride a Kelpie. And obviously Jeannie's thinking, just a daft prediction, no true, spay wifey, but, because that's, a lot of folks don't believe in that kind of thing. So, while this is happening, Dougie riles up the village and totally turns everything round on Jeannie. And so basically the village turn up at their door saying that they don't want Jeannie anywhere near the boats because, wait for it, she's a ginger. So because of that, she's bad luck. So basically every time she comes to the boats, something happens, which is just a load of rubbish, basically. It's pure coincidence that there happened to be a storm. And, it's things like that. They're coming up with all these instances of the bad things happening. So anyway, because Jeannie's bad luck now, they decide to ban her for going anywhere near the boats. So Jeannie, that's her, doesn't know what to do with herself. So she gets a job as a maid working in somebody's house. So basically she's a live-in maid. She lives and works in somebody's house. And it's very nice people she goes to work for. The dad of the family is a bailey. And he's basically, that's like a councilman, and that they're basically the kind of police kind of idea. He's also a well-respected doctor. So, it's quite a money family. And the mother, she's from a very important family as well. But they're good folk to work for. And she's getting on really well. During all this time, there's obviously the Bonnie Prince Charlie stuff. If you probably know about that, if not, Google everything that happened with Bonnie Prince Charlie. But all that kind of thing's happening. So going through there too, and there's all different soldiers, rebels, all sorts, which is a whole other story. So there's a lot of things going on, a lot of upset to everybody's lives. During this time, Dougie's made another couple of appearances, being a bit of a DICK. And during one of these altercations, he ended up having an altercation with Jeannie's dad, who Dougie pushed, and he fell and hit his back. Has left him paralysed, basically. And then, so obviously can't work. So the oldest son of the family, takes his dad's place on the boat, but obviously not as a boss because he's just started. So Dougie is the new boss, and Dougie gets to give the son daily beatings because he can, right? So there's, money troubles and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of stuff going on that is just, it's not that big a book. There is, let me tell you, 184 pages in total, but the amount of stuff that happens in it, it's like mind-blowing. It's meant for young adults. As I say, I was a teenager at school when I did this as part of English course, but there's so much stuff and it's just really good. So anyway, that all happens, and then one of these plagues, I think it was typhoid, I could be wrong, but a disease basically starts sweeping the area, and everybody's dying, people are falling ill, and I'm not going to tell you who, but basically parts of Margaret's prediction have came true by this point. So Jeannie starts thinking about the Kelpie, and if she could ride the Kelpie, which she figures out how to do in a separate thing, but if she's able to ride and control the Kelpie, then she can make a wish that her dad was better, that he was no longer paralysed. That means, obviously he's no longer paralysed, he can go out to work, earn money, family on the skin, basically. So, this is what she decides to do. As I say, lots of other stuff going on at the time that I'm not going to go into, but basically, I'm not going to tell you whether she rides a Kelpie or not. That is up for you to decide. But basically, that's what happens. It all leads up to whether she rides a Kelpie or not. And that's it. That's as much as I'm going to say without spoiling anything. But now I rated the first book I did, the Stephen King one, I'm going to rate out of 5 stars, right? And I rated that a 5 star, 5 out of 5, just because it was so freaking good. Now, I'm probably going to end up giving all the books 5 stars because, I have to give this a 5 star as well. I don't know why I remembered it so much, but without remembering the plot, I don't know, but it stuck with me all these years. It's just, I'm not normally somebody that's into historical books. I just can't be bothered with a lot of that. But it's so good. So good. On so many levels. So good. Because you've got all the historical stuff going on. But that's it's not even a secondary story. It's there's a war going on. It's a wee bit of what's up. But more importantly, it's what's happening to her and her family and the gypsy curse. And then Dougie, who I will say gets his comeuppance. Yay! Because he needs it. You're wanting it. You're just thinking when any part Dougie's in, you're going to be like, oh, the evil bee. I'm going to try not to swear as much as possible during these videos, but I'm Scottish, so it's like a second, not even second language, it's like in the words. Scottish people split up a word to put a swear word in. So as much as possible, I will say things like a bee, or I will spell the word, or say feeking, facking, fucking, whatever, instead of saying the actual word, because not that I'm going to be monetized, because it's highly unlikely I'm ever going to get that many subscribers. But just in the off chance, you never know, I don't want them flagged up for for me sitting effing and blinding, you know. So anyway, that is my review of Quest for Kelpie. I 100% recommend it. I'm giving it 5 stars out of 5. Yes, I know. But it's just that good. I really, really enjoyed it. Even though I'm not normally into historical books, it's definitely one to read. Okay, so share, like, subscribe, the usual rubbish. You know what to do. Check out my other videos, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cheery bye.